Deepak Malhotra, Negotiating the Impossible, How to Break Deadlocks and Resolve Ugly Conflicts, Without Money or Muscle. Venture into the world of negotiation strategies with Deepak Malhotra's book, Negotiating the Impossible, How to Break Deadlocks and Resolve Ugly Conflicts, Without Money or Muscle. Within this summary, important principles such as empathy, process, and framing are outlined, offering insight into resolving deadlocks and transforming hostile scenarios into collaborative environments. Discover how to break stalemates by reframing proposals, engaging with the other party's perspective, and utilizing strategic ambiguity to craft advantageous agreements. This book summary will impart valuable tactics and furnish you with a deeper understanding of the intricacies of negotiating in challenging situations.
Overlooked strategies for successful negotiations. In negotiations, it is common to see the other party as an enemy when things don't go as planned. However, the author suggests that there are powerful strategies that can be utilized to ensure successful negotiations. These strategies include empathy, process, and framing. By adopting these ideas and cultivating a more collaborative approach, a positive outcome can be achieved, despite any initial setbacks. Framing your proposals. The way you present your proposal matters as much as its substance. This is where framing comes in. By packaging your proposal in a way that is more attractive, you can make it more appealing to the other party. Framing helped resolve the 2011 contract dispute between National Football League team owners and players. The main point of contention was how to divide profits, and the deadlock was broken with a new frame that split the profits into 3 buckets. Both sides were able to declare victory. To influence the frame of an entire negotiation, frame it as a collaborative problem-solving session instead of a winner-takes-all situation. In shaping the frame of negotiations, you can gain the first-mover advantage. The first frame that takes hold will become the default. If there's an existing frame in a negotiation, evaluate it quickly and move to modify it as soon as possible. Framing can mitigate 2 problems that frequently drag down negotiations: the audience problem and the zero-sum problem. To address the audience problem, frame your offer in a way that makes it easy for the other side to sell the agreement to their constituents. To solve the zero-sum problem, offer a concession on a tangential issue that is less important to you to create a narrative of mutual sacrifice. Alternatively, split the issue into 2 or more parts or focus on the underlying common interests of both parties. Framing is a powerful tool that can help you make proposals more attractive and solve seemingly impossible deadlocks and conflicts. Before using tactics to gain advantage, consider how they will affect your ability to negotiate productively in the future. Framing proposals effectively. Most people don't make decisions based on a strict cost-benefit analysis. Instead, they choose what appears to be the most appropriate option based on social proof, the default option, and the reference point. To enhance an option, signal its popularity with others, frame it as the standard choice, or determine the reference point used to evaluate it. By doing so, you can effectively frame proposals and increase acceptance rates. For instance, Dr. Befar Ade at the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center found that monitoring prostate cancer with 6-month checkups instead of surgery or radiotherapy was more appealing when framed as the default option. Patients were resistant until the doctor changed his approach and described monitoring as the standard choice. By establishing a reference point and explaining changes in prostate cancer, the percentage of patients who chose monitoring increased by 35%. By understanding the quirks of human decision-making, you can apply these principles to make more compelling proposals. Strategic ambiguity in political negotiations. In political negotiations, when neither side can make concessions due to their audience, a solution is strategic ambiguity. This tactic involves crafting an agreement that doesn't explicitly state each side's responsibilities, allowing both to present the outcome as a win. The US and India employed this method during their 2007 negotiations over a nuclear weapons agreement, where India insisted on retaining the right to conduct tests, while the US demanded it refrained. By creating a deal that maintained this ambiguity, India's leaders could claim a win, knowing that testing would lead to an unwanted US response. Yielding to opposing frames. Learn how to modify opposing frames by embracing them to support your proposal. Transparency during negotiations can often do more harm than good. Yielding allows for co-creation of solutions in difficult negotiations. In their book, Getting to Yes, authors Fisher and Urey explain the art of yielding to opposing frames in negotiations. Yielding involves accepting an opposing frame as a basis for a proposal, rather than rejecting it altogether. This approach allows for co-creation of solutions that can benefit both parties. Additionally, transparency during negotiations can often do more harm than good. When trying to modify a major demand from the other side, attacking it will only make them defensive. Instead, ask them to craft the provision with stipulations. This gives them the power to modify the provision while still meeting certain conditions, increasing the likelihood of compliance. Negotiation process essentials. Negotiators need to establish and commit to a negotiation process for successful outcomes. A clear negotiation process helps prevent deadlocks and costly mistakes. Negotiators should make an unambiguous public statement of their commitment to the negotiation process to preclude reneging. Transparency can hinder effective negotiations, and an overemphasis on consensus can undermine the possibility of a deal. Negotiators need to avoid short-term thinking that disrupts forward momentum and ensure that procedural issues do not impede substantive talks. Empathy in negotiations. Empathy in negotiations allows for a perspective shift, enabling one to understand and anticipate the counterpart's actions. It's easy to mistake empathy for sympathy, but the main purpose of it is to understand others and their motives. Through discerning motives, you open up an array of possible responses. John F. Kennedy implemented empathy in resolving the Cuban Missile Crisis by understanding the Soviet perspective. Staying engaged despite the outcome can lead to even better deals or reversals. Identifying barriers to successful negotiations. In negotiations, it is essential to identify barriers that could thwart a deal. These barriers can be psychological, such as biases or suspicions that parties bring to the table, structural, such as time limits, media scrutiny, or lack of information, or tactical, including cutthroat maneuvers like limiting negotiating options by publicly insisting on unacceptable positions. To broaden your options, recognize these barriers and work to overcome them. Negotiating success. Effective negotiation requires anticipating the influence of third parties and analyzing each participant's interests, constraints, alternatives, and perspective. The book emphasizes creating a map of the negotiation space while keeping in mind the fluid nature of negotiations, which can challenge the laws of physics at times. By understanding the values, goals, and priorities of all parties, negotiators can craft deals that benefit everyone involved. Building relationships in negotiations. In negotiations, maintaining good relationships with other parties is key, regardless of the outcome. Even after a breakdown, trust can be rebuilt for future negotiations. It's important to stay engaged and take advantage of opportunities to improve the deal. Successful negotiations often result in residual conflicts, so keep communicating to avoid future misunderstandings.
In conclusion, negotiating the impossible provides indispensable knowledge for anyone seeking to cultivate effective negotiation skills. By adopting the key strategies of empathy, process, and framing, you can transform seemingly impossible conflicts into successful resolutions. The book illustrates how to maneuver around psychological, structural, and tactical barriers while establishing trust and understanding with the other party. Importantly, Malhotra emphasizes the necessity of maintaining ongoing engagement for continual improvement of deals and future negotiations. In the realm of negotiation, a commitment to learning these critical strategies and techniques can open up new possibilities for productive and rewarding outcomes.